The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Thrill Media.
Welcome to Hearts of Gold. Today we have Nazeefa with us. Hi, Nazeefa.
Hi.
Can you tell us about your Girl Scout Gold Award project?
My name's Nazeefa, and I recently just received my Gold Award. My Gold Award targeted the issue of the digital divide, which is the gap between those who have access to digital resources and electronics and those who don't. So my project had three different parts. The first one being a physical donation drive of electronics. I led a donation drive in my community and was able to collect almost $5,000 in value of physical electronics, whether that be like working computers. I did receive brand new iPads and MacBooks, some old headphones, wires, all of that. And I was able to donate that to Inspiredu, which is a local nonprofit in Atlanta. And they take all these old and new devices, they refurbish them, and they give them back to those who need it to the underserved in Atlanta. The second aspect of my project was really my global part. I knew that I wanted to do something global, and I'm from India, so I really wanted to include that as part of my project as well. Inspiredu, they have a sister organization in India called Leap to Shine, and their mission is similar along the lines of the digital divide, but they target more of like digital literacy and actual education for children in the rural areas of India. And they provide those children with brand new tablets with these educational software. So after learning about them, I noticed that the transition of not having any device to a brand new tablet with all these new softwares and learning apps could be very difficult. So I was able to work with their team and create about 15 video tutorials about just walking them through about how to use a tablet, how to use their specific softwares like reading, math, English, science. I was able to borrow one of their tablets, and what might seem, common knowledge to us because we are able to use technology on a daily basis may not be common knowledge. So I kind of had to simplify it more than what I thought was necessary to kind of make that really impactful for them. So I'm grateful that I was able to work with Leap to Shine for that. And then the third aspect of my project was I knew I wanted to do something local again, like with the youth in my community. So my goal was to educate about 75 elementary and middle schoolers about cybersecurity, because I know that's another important topic in our community that's arising with technology. And I was able to surpass that goal and actually teach about 100 students. I covered topics like cybersecurity and then a little bit of coding, just depends on the age group that I was working with. And I think I led about 10 different workshops to reach, no, not 10, almost five or seven different workshops to reach that goal.
What initially inspired you to do this project?
Initially did not know what I wanted to do my project about. I think that's one of the hardest parts because we have so many different options to choose from. But one of my contacts through my mom, I found out that he was heavily involved with Inspiredu. So I just met up with him. I tried to learn about Inspiredu's mission and see if it was something that I wanted to work with, and it did. I think everyone needs technology now in such a global world that we're coming into. So that was such an important topic for me, especially like after COVID. It's crazy to think that people still don't have adequate technology. So just learning about it, and then I think right then I decided that that's what I wanted to do for my project.
Who else was on your team and how did they help you?
Of course, my coach, my Girl Scout coach, was Miss Pam, and she was super helpful throughout my project. My advisor was Mr. Durgesh Das, and he is the person I was talking about who is heavily involved with Inspiredu. So he put me in touch with people at Inspiredu so I could collect the devices that they really needed, so people don't donate things that are outside of their regulations. And then he also put me in touch with Leap to Shine with their team so I could meet their criteria that they really needed for their video tutorials. So that was crucial.
What was your biggest challenge during your project, and how did you overcome it?
I think the first biggest challenge was deciding what to do for my project. I knew I needed to do, like, for me, I wanted to do something super impactful, and I knew I wanted like a global aspect. But figuring out how was one of the hardest parts. I was jumping around so many different topics before I eventually landed on this one. And I think the second one was reaching my goal of 75 students for the cybersecurity workshops. When you host workshops for free, I learned that not as many people actually tend to show up, even if they RSVP, because, it's free. They're not losing anything, even if they don't end up coming. So I think that was the hardest part. I did it last summer. So it was summer vacation. People were traveling too. So that made it difficult. But I realized instead of waiting for the people to come to me, I had to go to the people in my local mosque. They have Sunday school. My sister attends there too every week. And I realized, almost 50 plus kids go there anyway. So I just talked with the lead over there and see if I was able to, squeeze in their schedule for just about half an hour during their lunch break. And they were able to fit me in. So with those 50 people at the Sunday school, along with my other 5 workshops, I was able to reach my goal. But yeah, that's the main lesson I learned. I don't have to wait for the people to come to me. I can always go to the people too.
What did you learn about the Gold Award process itself that could be helpful to other Girl Scouts in the future?
For Girl Scouts who are thinking of starting their Gold Award, I think the hardest part is definitely the proposal to figure out what you're going to do. It's very hard to visualize your future steps like before you're there. Keep motivating yourself. Don't give up just yet, because that is the hardest part. After that, you have such a clear plan of everything you have to do, and then it's easy to pivot whenever you need to. It's just really hard to think that far ahead into the future when you don't know exactly what you're going to do, who you're going to work with yet. So just don't give up at the proposal just yet.
Can you share a little bit more of how you handled that part and how you created your plan?
At first, actually, I had started with a different idea completely. Um, And then, midway through the proposal, I realized, while talking with my advisor that, this isn't really feasible. I didn't really have a strong project advisor like I did with Leap to Shine or Inspiredu. So that was also difficult. But once I did decide I wanted to do the digital divide, I think it became a lot easier. And the harder part was just making those SMART goals and figuring out what exactly I needed to accomplish, like breaking it down into details, talking it out, and bouncing ideas with my Girl Scout coach really helped with that. She helped put everything into numbers, which helped make more sense. So I think that helped me get through it a lot. But also, once I realized, like, yeah, I'm doing the digital divide, it just gave me more clarity and more confidence that, yeah, I can do this. It's also good to know that later the proposal is such a big part of the final report too. So like if you put in more work into the proposal with all the research and everything, it makes the final report so much easier.
That's all great feedback. I'm curious on those SMART goals you mentioned. I believe one you mentioned earlier was that you wanted to reach 75 students. What were your other SMART goals, and how did you work with your mentor to come up with those?
For the devices, actually coming up with that goal was pretty difficult because I wasn't sure, counting a number of devices is kind of difficult because you can't really count a wire or a charger as a full device compared to like a tablet or a phone. So I think we came up to only like 50 physical devices, which I was able to overcome. That was not including any chargers, mouses, keypads, headphones. It wasn't including any of that. I'm not sure about the exact number. It feels like so long ago, but it was something like that, just physical devices. And then later, when promoting it like this, I was able to add up the value while sorting through those devices before donation. So then, like in conversations like this, I'm able to say it was almost $5,000 in value.
I think that's excellent feedback for other Girl Scouts that may be struggling with those SMART goals also.
My other one was just the number of videos of tutorials, because measuring impact on that was more difficult because it is more global and I don't really know who these videos are going to. So for the measuring impact part, I was just able to collect feedback from the people who work at Leap to Shine, and they were, able to say that it helped them because the videos were more for the instructors at Leap to Shine who then teach the students. And then they would also forward these videos to the parents of the students receiving the device. Measurable part for that one was just the number of videos. So I think I said 10, but I ended up doing about 15.
Do you have a special memory from your project?
I think they're all such great memories. When trying to photograph all my physical donations that I got, I think that was so cool. I set up like 5 different of those big foldable tables, the white tables, in my patio just for the lighting. And I set up all the devices that I got. I sorted all the wires, like everything. So just everything laid out really showed the impact because you could see each individual iPad, laptop, phone. So I think that's one of my favorite videos from this project because it just looks so cool that I was able to collect so many devices.
What other Girl Scout memories do you have to share?
Recently, my troop, we went to our senior trip to Disney World. Yeah, from our cookie money that we saved up for the past 2, 3 years. So this was definitely one of my favorites. We did a mother-daughter trip. We booked a whole Airbnb for about 2 days, and then we spent 2 days at the park too. So that's definitely one of my favorites. And then in ninth grade, we did a similar trip, but to Washington, D.C. So that was very educational. We went to all the historic landmarks, museums, definitely some of my favorite memories. And then, of course, cookie season every year. I love cookie season.
Which is your favorite cookie?
Thin Mints, but you have to freeze them.
100%.
Yeah. What about you?
Frozen Thin Mints, absolutely. What is up in your future?
I'm almost committed to Georgia State University for business, so that's really exciting. And then we'll see how it goes from there.
Very cool. Did anything in Girl Scouts lead you to perhaps doing business in college?
I always knew I was good at those people skills and, communicating with people, leadership. So I always knew that I had that in me. And I guess doing my Gold Award and cookie season every year just reinstated that and just builded on it every year. And I also tried so many different things before. I was never the kind of person who knew what I wanted to do since I was little. Whenever I was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always thought about it, even when I was little. I wouldn't just give any answer. And I never was 100% sure. I'm still not. But I tried to try so many things. I attempted computer science, digital marketing, healthcare. I ended up going backwards and eliminating the pathways that I don't like. For business, I always knew that I had those people skills, especially from Girl Scouts, which now I'm pretty sure business is a good route for me.
Well, and business is a good foundation that can take you so many places in your future too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What else would you like to share with the audience?
I'm just so grateful, for my whole experience, and my troop leader is so amazing. She really helped me throughout this entire Gold Award process. Yeah, I was also able to receive the Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta Council Scholarship in March, so I am a recipient of that. I'm so grateful for my experience.
How do you make your s'mores?
So option one is the normal way. I think 2 graham crackers, and I roast my marshmallow, not burnt, but like more than raw, chewy enough, and then just a full square of Hershey's chocolate. And then sometimes if I'm at home, I would like to do like the air fryer way, where I put marshmallows and chocolate into the air fryer, and then it's like a dip, and you scoop it with the graham crackers.
That is a new one on me. I have not heard that one before. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure to click follow or subscribe so you always know when new episodes are released. Empower your passion and conquer your challenges.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to be on the show to share your story with how you earned your Gold Award, reach out and send an email to growandsshare@outlook.com. Be sure to catch up on our previous shows on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, as well as view the full video versions at youtube.com/Cheryl M. Robinson. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.